Nota TV Power Talk. Kindly share, subscribe, promote Nota TV for protecting democratic values. Indo-China border is boiling. Two-country army troops mobilizing men in uniform near the border. Another side, commander-level talks are failed. Rajnath Singh Russia visit. It's a creating tension between two countries. Northern Ladakh is ready for another war. Today we are discussing Nota TV Power Talk with one powerful guest, Mr. Vijay Krantiji, senior journalist, as well as having great knowledge on the international relations, and he worked as an international correspondent for the several media organizations. Vijay Krantiji, welcome to Nota TV Power Talk.
Thank you everybody.
Vijay Krantiji,
yes,
is a possibility of war between Indo-China?
Of course, one thing, those people who make war, I am not one of them, so I can't influence their decisions. But going by what is happening, I very much doubt that what is happening will lead to a war between India and China. I think whatever is happening is a kind of what we have experienced in the past also. It is Chinese game, a psychological game to put pressure on India and get some benefits out of it. Or this time, an additional thing is that within China, the political leadership, Mr. Xi Jinping, it appears that he's feeling a lot of pressure and dissent from within his party, and he feels quite threatened within his system. So just like the call that Islam is in danger, so there communism and Xi Jinping is trying to tell his party people that the party and the nation is in danger by creating problem with India. So I doubt very much that this whole thing will lead to a war, but surely it can lead to a little more tension in near future.
Vijay Krantiji, Honorable Defense Minister visit to Russia. It's create a lot of tension to total world. Today they are going to participate in a RIC meeting. Russia, India, China, trilateral foreign ministers meeting. What will be the agenda?
A situation of whether it is war or there is a situation of tension between nations. Diplomacy is always a very first option. So there is nothing wrong if there are discussions happen in today or tomorrow.
In a crisis of the corona, traveling is prohibited over all the world. In spite of that also, Rajnath Singh ji and External Affairs Minister also travel to Russia. If there is any urgency or they are giving much priority to China-India border issue.
See, when we say that traveling is prohibited, the context is very different. International traveling is prohibited between countries at mass level as it was happening every day. Millions of people traveling from different countries to other countries. So that is understandable. That ban is there, but that doesn't mean that flights are banned or the political leaders traveling to other countries is banned. It's not. I think it is the priority of the leaders whether they have to attend to problems inside their own country or if they have an agenda which is far more serious than attending home problems. So I think the crisis, the kind of crisis which is happening on the borders of India and Tibet, or what we call India-China border, this is serious enough for the leaders to travel. And who knows that the leaders, already senior leaders, are not already traveling. If you remember those days when there was Cold War, when Soviet Union and America were fighting with each other in the diplomatic fronts very heavily. In those days, you must have heard Henry Kissinger traveling, or these leaders traveling to different countries in one go, and negotiations and consultations. These things are happening. So if our leaders are traveling, if Chinese leaders are traveling to Russia, there is nothing very special about it, except that there is some agenda which is more serious than what they are attending to in their home countries.
Vijay Kranti ji, one straight away question. What is the Galvan Valley issue? Why it's broken out now?
Galwan Valley is its location is very strategic as far as India's security is concerned. It's very close to the in Ladakh. It is very close to that region which connects, which links, for example, Siachen for India, which is very important. And China has its own designs on this area because it wants access to a fair access to Pakistan and then to Arabian Sea, and through Aksai Chin, which it had illegally occupied earlier. Now China is interested in having a better straight geographic link with Aksai Chin, so that its road which connects from Kashgar to this area, Gwadar in Arabian Sea, is also gets a link from the Tibetan side from Lhasa. So China wants to improve its strategic control on this area and put more pressure on India. That is why Galwan Valley has become very important. Unfortunately for China, for last 3-4 years, the government of India, the Modi government, has suddenly started a new campaign which we had never seen in the history of India-China relations or India's internal or India's defense preparedness. For last 65 years, from 1949 or 47 to say just before Modi government took place, the Indian governments have been very reluctant and shy of development of infrastructure along Himalayan borders. You know, the border where India is meeting, in India and Tibet border, overall is 4,000 kilometer length along Himalayas. Leave the Nepal part and Bhutan, the rest of line, the border line is between India and Tibet, because being occupied by China, so now this border is India and China border. So the length of that border is 3,488 kilometers. Along this entire border, from Chinese side it is 4,000 kilometers. They have been very smart. When they occupied Tibet in 1951, the very first thing they started was to develop a road infrastructure. Then they graduated it to having new airfields, and then the military cantonments there. And today, Tibet has become practically a cantonment of China, which is very threatening to India, being the immediate neighbor. Unfortunately, on the Indian side, all our governments, previous governments, for first 65 years, they had decided not to go and develop roads in that area. The very funny reason they were giving was, if India makes roads to its own our posts along Himalayan borders, then the fear was that Chinese will use those roads and come to our home. So this was the level of you can see fear and of course fear psychosis in the mind of and inferiority complex in the mind of our rulers.
Vijay Kranti, China sharing border with 10 countries more than 22,000 kilometers. With each and every country, they having some issues except Pakistan and some other one or two issues. Why China develops such kind of attitude with neighbors?
You know, the reason is the Chinese expansionist nature. They are never happy with what they have in their hands. They are already possessed by their own dreams, the dreams of making China what they call the central power, middle kingdom of the whole world. And because of that, what they do is, I'll give you example of Tibet. They occupied Tibet illegally in 1951. In the history, we never had for one day in thousands of years anything called India-China border. But the moment they occupied Tibet, they moved on to Indian borders, and overnight the border became from India-Tibet border, it became India-China border. And after occupying it, just see, they are now claiming that Arunachal Pradesh is South Tibet, and in Ladakh they say these are Tibetan areas. In Sikkim they say these are Tibetan areas. Nobody is challenging them that how the hell you can make, first you illegally occupy Tibet and then use Tibet as the ground for making claims on the other countries, especially in this case India. So this shows their intention, this shows their mind, and this you can apply to all those 10 or 14 countries they are borders. So this is how they behave with all these countries, right from Vietnam to this part of world, and even Central Asia, they are doing the same thing. So this is their mindset, and they have an expansionist mind, and this time they have now chosen to have the term, if I can use, panga with India, and I doubt they are going to go back very happily.
Yeah, Vijay coronavirus is the gift of China for rest of the world. Now they are trying to suppress that fact. Because of that, they are going to create some sort of the tension between two superpower countries. That's India and China. Is it true?
Obviously, because China is under pressure for so many reasons. One is, of course, as you said, Corona is a very big reason.
Yes.
When it started sometime late, now people say that it was much before November. It had already started. So they were hiding it. They were not letting anybody know. They were preparing for themselves. They were protecting their own system. They were developing medicines and the vaccine, etc. They were already busy, but they didn't let the world know. And they allowed this to spread to so many countries. And the result is, once they found that now the virus has reached so many countries and it has started creating problems for other countries, then they also discovered that there is resistance. Not only America, even countries like Germany. Germany have been a very friendly country, and Italy. All these countries are discovering that they have been very severely attacked by Chinese virus. Their economy is suffering very badly. The health situation is very bad, and now there are so many countries suffering, right up to Brazil. So all those countries have started realizing that China is damaging their national interest, and it's doing very deliberately. So now, as this is sinking in the rest of the world that China has played a mischief, now China is feeling jittery. So to divert attention to these issues, from these issues, he is starting these kind of issues. He started in South China Sea, some problem, and now he started with India, so that the whole world should be worried more about war than about a virus. So this is the reason, that is why they have started with India.
Vijay Sonia Gandhi blamed in a Congress working committee meeting because of Narendra Modi's policies and mismanagement. There is a border crisis between China and India. How far it is true?
Sorry, on such a mindless and if I can use the term, foolish statement, one can only laugh. Sonia Gandhi came to India after a very many long years. Before her, she didn't know that China has occupied Tibet and came to our borders. Before that, she didn't know that her own great father-in-law, he was cheated by China. Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, Nehruji ran for all his life, and later on what the shock he got was that China attacked India by using the same Tibet, which Nehruji had handed over on a platter to the Chinese. If she joined the family, if she came to India, if she had some wisdom, she should have read the history before making such a foolish statement. So her, whatever she is saying, she is speaking out of lack of knowledge, about lack of concern for India, and the lack of wisdom when to open mouth and when to keep shut. She doesn't have that wisdom. When the nation is in crisis, she is trying to make it as if the war is not India-China war, the war is between Modi and China. So if China beats Modi, she will clap. This, I think, her advisors should have at least given her very basic lessons in history of India, or at least recent history of India. Then she should not have opened her mouth in such a wrong manner at a wrong moment. I'm sure she will be regret such statements. And anyhow, her party has already paid through its nose so many times because of such foolish statements. I feel sad for, leave aside, no need to feel sad for Sonia Gandhi. I feel sad for Congress party. I am a person who sincerely believes Congress is very much needed in Indian democratic system. It has a history, it has a role to play, but unfortunately, this party, grand party, has been occupied by a mad family, and Sonia Gandhi represents that.
Vijay ji, since last 45 years, there is no single casualty in Indo-China border. Recent Galvanwadi clashes, it's become a very unfortunate incident in the history of India. We lost 20 brave soldiers. What is the motive behind this? Is it a planned conspiracy or any other reason?
It has at least two reasons which I can see. First reason is that unfortunately in previous years, what was happening, China, it's not that China has started transgressing into Indian territories only now during Modi government period. It was going on for so many years. And unfortunately, our governments in Delhi did not have that courage to take a stand, a bold stand to stop China in its tracks. So that was one reason that China had become used to, doing what they want. When there were times when China attacked in such areas which were very, very sensitive for India's security. So at that time, in spite of whatever lethargy or fear the new Delhi leadership was going through, I think it was the defense, our system, the defense leadership, who had convinced New Delhi that we must hit back. And on all such occasions, when Indian army hit back, it was really wonderful. They gave a bleeding nose to the Chinese, whether it was in Samdrung, was anywhere in Ladakh also. So in Galwan Valley, this time the scene was very different. The Chinese created mischief, and India gave them a pushback. But at the same moment, when this happened at a moment when the dialogue was already in the between the commanders of both sides, and the Indian soldiers were given understanding that Chinese side has agreed to vacate that area. So they went to supervise whether it was being vacated or not. The Chinese played a mischief. They retreated, and then without giving a notice, they suddenly pounced upon those Indian soldiers who were not ready for this kind of reaction. And that is why in the very first reaction, in the Indian commanding officer, the colonel, unfortunately, he lost his life in the very first attack. But I have heard that the Indian soldiers after that took a stand. They didn't give up. So then they had more reinforcements. And the final result is that Chinese got a horrible bleeding nose, which they are not right now accepting. But if you see today's the Chinese international TV, CGTA TV, CGN TV, you will be surprised to see the tone of that TV, which is propaganda tool of Chinese government. They are pleading with India. We should have good relations. We should not fight. It was very sad that this thing happened, and we have a lot to cooperation. It has never happened in last 70 years that Chinese are talking in such terms. It only shows that Indian side has given them a befitting reply. This is one reason. Second reason why it happened, I think Xi Jinping is in a very serious trouble within China. In the Communist Party, because he is the head of Communist Party, he is the president of the nation, he is the head of the military, the PLA of Defense Forces of China. All three posts he is occupying, and he has recently made it clear that he would like to live for his life on all the three poles. So that has created a lot of resistance within Chinese system, within Chinese Communist Party, within Chinese bureaucracy, and within the Chinese defense network. So he is finding a lot of resistance there. So it seems that just to divert attention, some of the senior military officers, they played this dirty game in Galwan, and that is how it started.
Vijay ji, if war happened between two countries, who will support to whom? Who are behind the? I'm asking about world countries. Who are behind the China and who are behind the India?
It's not very easy to answer these questions because every country takes decisions according to their own national interest. Because national interest is the first thing which decides what is good, what is bad, what is suitable, what is not suitable, what we will support, what we will oppose. But going by the given situation, right now, China does not have so many friends. India has so many friends. China has annoyed so many countries around its own borders and created so much trouble for them. None of them is going to be cooperative with China. And then, because of Corona, they have made life hell for almost whole world. Economically, they have practically misused Corona to sabotage the economic system of most of the countries. They have bought, because of Corona, when the markets went down, the economic activities went down, the markets went down, the share prices went down. Now the records show that Chinese have purchased a lot of shares of in sensitive areas, and these countries and these companies are not going to forgive China for that. So, and then again, there is a group of countries who are directly right now feeling the pressure from China. And these are India Pacific countries, and they are all worried about China. They are looking forward to the leadership of India to start a kind of alliance. Don't be surprised if we see a NATO kind of alliance very soon, which you will see India, Japan, Australia, Vietnam, Taiwan, all these countries on one side and China on the other. I doubt China will find itself in a very happy or enviable situation. Maybe China, it may be the last chance for China to see something happy in their life. So I doubt that China is going to gain. So I doubt China will create a situation where really the war starts.
Vijay ji, finally one question. India and China both are these supremacy countries. Do you suggest war between two supremacy countries?
No, I don't think a war is a first choice between these two countries for two reasons. One is in the given present situation where the war technology has gone far beyond ordinary human reach, and with its power of destruction, I don't think the countries can afford a war at this stage. And I doubt China can ever hope to gain something out of the war. So I don't believe they will start a war. And secondly, for India, strategically, India should avoid a war at this stage. The reason is we have just arrived a stage where we have started taking off in the direction of being a superpower, in the direction of as a military power, or in the direction of as an economic power. This is a wrong time to start a war because this will push us back by many years in our goal to become a, if not a superpower, at least one of the, the biggest powers, whether it is in military stance or economy or science and technology development. So I think it is in interest of India. We should not have a war. And if you notice, the way Mr. Modi has been reacting all these days, he has avoided every moment where a statement could lead to a war. He is a very smart man. He knows when to open mouth and when to keep shut. Unfortunately, many opposition leaders in India, they just don't know that. So this man knows it. He speaks very strongly when it is needed. Then you can't beat him, the way he comes up. He is a man. He's the man who knows right now we don't need war. So that is why I don't believe that we are going to have a war. But India is going to express itself very clearly that don't dare to come for a war.
After fail of the commander level meetings, there is a tension between India and China borders. Eastern Ladakh, the both side troops are mobilizing their own army, their own ammunition, their own vehicles to create tension to rest of the world. Thanks for participating, Mr. Vijay Kranti, in a Nota TV Power Talk. Your valuable comments and your valuable feedbacks are very useful for the total viewers. Thanks for participating in Nota TV Power Talk. Signing up, Silverius Srisailam for Nota TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.